The Gi spot. I'd hit that.
Welcome to the Gi Spot podcast. My name's Rachel Bradshaw and I have a black belt in Jiu Jitsu.
Yes, you do.
I do.
And do you know what else you'll have soon?
What will I have soon?
One stripe.
No, I'll have a degree. It will be the only degree that I have.
I like that. I reckon that's the best start ever. Oh, that's cool.
I've got some graduate certificates and some diplomas and things like that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't have a degree.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was a very cool beginning. I like that. I like the fact that we're not got any routine to this whatsoever
let's
anymore.
just change it up. Who are you?
I'm Kaz, still Kaz, always Kaz.
Oh, I love it.
Not Karen. Can't be a Karen.
Actually, Marie called you Karen in an
I
episode
know.
a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, who's she talking about? Oh, right, the person sitting next to me.
I adore her. I think she's just such a beautiful human.
Oh,
and so when she said, and it was only the one time through the whole, and she's gone Karen something or other, and I'm like,
Triggered.
I only get Karen if I'm in trouble with my mother or Matt's cranky with me.
And sometimes you get it from Grant on the mats.
Oh, do I? Oh, yeah, when he's trying to take the piss out of me.
Yeah.
When he's trying to bait me.
Yeah, he's just poking the bear.
Yeah. And then I just put my head down and ignore him. I was like, no. I don't know. And you know, even before Karen became a thing, I still didn't like my name. I've never liked my name.
Oh,
I wanted
really?
to reverse it. Nerick.
Okay.
And I did for so long. I used to just tell everybody I was Nerick
Okay.
because I hated Karen.
Wow.
And Karen backwards is Nerick. So
you
I was
go.
good with that. And I figure I've always been a little bit kind of backwards. So it worked for me. Now I just take Kaz. Kaz is easier.
Yeah.
I don't even.
You are definitely a Kaz.
Yeah, I don't put Karen on official documents or anything. I get into trouble so often because I
really?
don't think to write Karen.
Right.
So I write Kaz Page.
Yep.
And they're all like, that's not
Well,
what
that's in your book as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Kaz
No,
Page.
it's not.
Oh, author Karen. Yeah, I had
Karen
to.
Page.
But throughout the whole book, it's all Kaz.
Right.
Like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Me.
So anyway, hi.
How's your week been?
Quiet. I don't think anything. I had my girlfriend Valerie down for a week.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
Yep.
So she was coming down to learn different things, and she was a part of the documentary that we're just about to read. Actually, that's something that's huge. Mm-hmm. We're at the last 2% of that documentary.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
I'm very
exciting.
excited. It is. That's been a year in the making.
Mm-hmm.
10 years in the making, really, but. Yeah, it's a year in the making of the official documentary, and we're at those final stages now where we can actually release it in the next couple of weeks.
When it gets released, is it going to be released to YouTube as a full documentary or something else? Or where can people watch it?
Yes, so we're actually going to approach a local theatre company here at Avoca. They don't know yet, so we're going to see if they would like to run it for us, and it's actually getting submitted to the International Film Festival Awards.
Wow.
So once we do that, then we kind of have to roll with that and just see what happens from there. And I don't know. The only goal I have ever had for the book and the documentary is hoping that one person in need might see it or read it, and that be the catalyst for them to go, I want better for me.
Yep.
And if I get that from this, then it's a win. If I get more people than one, like we saw with the book, I think we got up to like 2,500 responses in the first few months of releasing it, of people just reaching out to us direct and saying it's what I needed to read.
That's beautiful.
So, we just hope that the documentary takes it that one step further and everybody knows that there is alternatives to end, than to end it. That's
Such
the biggest thing.
Such a powerful message. Such a beautiful, powerful message.
So that's been my week so far. That's my, my full focus. Besides the 2 podcasts, that's where my heart is at the moment, and getting that to market will be huge for me.
And you had a bit of a whoopsie on the mats this week.
I did. Taking another step back.
Tell us about this whoopsie.
Oh, I had 2. So I was rolling with a very beautiful brown belt who was amazing in my roll with me. I had so much fun with him. And I just happened to put my hand in the wrong space, and he was coming down and kind of gave a bit of a dislocation to the thumb, to which I just ignored and
kept rolling.
Kept rolling. Yeah, I got to the end of the roll, which was fine.
And then I'm talking to your daughter on the side of the mats about my philosophy of self-defense and jiu-jitsu.
No, it was very
You
empowering.
walk over to us.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, let me tell you about this. And you were like, okay.
Yeah.
And you sat there and listened to me babble on before I actually really focused on you. And I went, hang on, what's wrong? Are you okay? And you went, no, I think I've dislocated my thumb.
Yeah, it was a bit sore. I'm good with pain.
You're a goose.
I'm good with pain. Pain I can handle. It's emotions that I don't cope with. So I can laugh through pain. I can't, you know, you give me anxiety and I'm a bumbling mess, but, you know, slit my throat and I'm really good. I'm okay with that.
Goodness gracious. So I went out in sympathy with you today. I didn't dislocate my thumb, but I've jarred it quite badly doing it. And I don't remember it happening. Yeah. I just know now it's really freaking sore.
That joint, hey, that's a motherfucker.
It really is.
Like when you do that joint
and
you don't realise, well, I don't realise, maybe this is just me, but I just, every time I heard a thumb, I get reminded of how important your fucking thumbs are. Because
can't chop them off.
I know, right? But you actually use them a lot more than you kind of realise. And
can't hold the toilet paper without a thumb.
Can't wipe your ass, can't do anything. It's like, owie, can't put shoelaces on, can't pull shoes on, right? Like there was just a gamut of things where, oops-a-daisy. Anyway, so that was okay. And then I did a bit of a shoulder neck kind of too much in one direction the other night, and but that wasn't bad. I had a really good roll with Matt, a really good roll with you, and then
that was a great roll because I got on top.
Yeah. That's very true. You did. Yeah.
And I was like, now that I'm here, motherfucker, I'm not going anywhere else.
And you didn't either.
Nope.
I could not get you off to save myself. Thank God for the buzzer. That's all I can say. Thank God for the buzzer. Well, that's funny. A really good segue, actually. What's on today, Rach?
So I wanted to have a chat about ego. Ego is something that we hear a lot about on the mats. You know, you see it on some academies up on the wall. Leave your ego at the door. But what does it mean? What is ego? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it indifferent? Why do we have ego? Why is it good to have ego? All of those kind of things, because I think ego gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes, and
rightly so to a degree.
Well, I guess it's part of the interpretation of what is ego and that sort of thing.
Perspective is very important.
Yeah, so tell me what you think ego is. Kaz.
Look, I think and when you suggested it, I started doing a bit of a deep dive to try and articulate it better, because I've always been of the opinion that there is a need for ego. I don't think humanity can achieve the kind of things it achieves without some level of ego. I think once power comes into play, then there is an opportunity for ego to taint. And that's when I think we dive into a bad ego scenario. But I think just as we are born with levels of emotion and we are born with the ability to be happy and sad, we are also born with the ability to be egocentric. And it's whether or not we choose to acknowledge, accept and control as opposed to just let it be and, you know, become whatever. And so for me personally, I'm all for ego for as long as it's acknowledged in the person and it's held to account. So if you've kind of, you know, for me, I think a good ego is the courage and the ability to step up and say, I achieved this. And be okay with it. Because I think in Australia we have a lot of tall poppy syndrome. I think we have a lot of push you down, don't let you stand on the pedestal and beat your chest. And I don't agree with that. So I think in that regard, that kind of ego takes courage. I think on the other side of things, the ego of being in the room, the biggest dog in the room, I'm going to beat you down and prove you wrong and all the rest of it, I don't gel with that. I don't vibe with that at all. I'm not good with that. And to the point where if it is in my face, my ego will probably become my shield to the point where I will just push back and go, listen here, fucktard, sit down and shut the fuck up. And that's not because I think I'm better than the person. It's more so because right now you're impeding on people that don't deserve what you're giving. And so I get very
defensive.
I get very defensive, yeah. It's like, I don't know if I can beat the shit out of you or not, but I'm sure as hell going to try.
It depends who you are.
Yeah, that's it.
So I mean, you know, I've been to college. I joked about having a degree before or not having a degree before, but I started a degree years and years and years ago. And like most of us, we take Psychology 101 at some point in our degrees that we do, right?
Yeah.
So I think most people have, you know, a basic understanding of like Sigmund Freud and, you know, ego and understanding of personality and things like that. So originally, you know, it was discovered by Sigmund Freud, and he found the ego to be like the superhighway between the id and the superego parts of the brain. Now, the id is like your base level desires, sexuality, what I want it now. It's kind of like the child. So think about like, you know, a young child who hasn't been taught about societal norms and behaviors and expectations and things like this. I want that tissue and I want it now, and it doesn't matter what anyone else feels or if it's inappropriate for me to have it, I want it. Like that's your id. And then your superego is like your moral compass. It's the logic that's that part of the brain that's like, you know, conforms to the societal norms and rules and expectations, and the ego sits in the middle and it negotiates with what you want and what's appropriate, and it tells you what you. So the actual like official terminology for it doesn't quite fit what I think modern day society considers ego, or it kind of does, but it's warped. Does that make sense?
It does. But what's your interpretation of the modern day society's interpretation of ego?
I think ego, and that's why I said I think it gets a bit of a bad rap, because I think it's easier to identify negative ego, not positive ego.
Yes, I agree with
Right.
that.
So when we see someone with like negative traits in their ego, usually it indicates someone who might be arrogant. They think very highly of themselves, probably without having foundation for doing so. I think examples of bad ego are probably, you know, that person in the gym that doesn't want to tap even when they're caught. Or if they do tap, there's always an excuse. Oh, yeah, but I'm not feeling my best today. Or, oh, that's my sore shoulder or my sore arm, so I had to tap quickly. Or they lose in competition and they don't like shake their opponent's hand.
Oh, that irritates the shit out of me.
Right? Or they punch the mat out of anger. Or, oh, yes, but I was sick like coming up with those excuses why they weren't the best that they could be. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just going, you know what, that person beat me today.
Yeah, better on the day.
You know, and well, even better. Maybe they're just better than you, you know, like acknowledge that as well. So I think it's really easy to identify that negative ego. And I think that's why when it said leave your ego at the door, it means come into the academy with an open heart and an open mind and be willing to accept that you don't know everything and you have lots to learn, and be willing to tap early and tap often, and all of those things that come with leave your ego at the door. Mm-hmm. So I think that's sort of like this modern day understanding of what negative ego is. Positive ego on the flip side of it, I think it's resilience, and it's self-belief, and it's knowing your worth, and it's acknowledging that you do have gifts and things to share with others while also learning from other people as well. It's acknowledging that if you do lose, then there's something to learn, not make excuses for. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think they're positive attributes of what a positive ego would look like.
I think every human I know, myself included, has almost a yin and yang, right? Like I don't know a person out there that hasn't done something where they thought they were going to get a better result and not kind of somehow justified it in their own head as to why they're where they are or why they're where they're ended up. For me, I think that, you know, we all have that ability to let our ego dominate sometimes.
Of course.
But I think that for me personally, there is a difference between getting in a head funk about it and trying to justify in your head in that moment, as opposed to being arrogantly egotistical. And that, to me, that's bad ego.
Yeah.
That's coming in with a whole presence, just constantly big noting. What's the word where you is it showboating?
Yeah.
Showboating, and that constant drive of everybody else sucks. I don't care if you've earned to be the top of the mountain. Like there's this saying that says, if you're the smartest guy in the room, get out of the room, go find another room.
Yep.
That's so true. To keep learning, to keep evolving, that is so true. But for a minute, if you're the smartest dude in the room, you've earned it. I have no issues with you standing there and saying, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'm done here now. I've got to go on to the next chapter. But hey, I'm done here now. Like I am the smartest dude in this room because I've put the time, the effort, the work. I have no issues with people owning that space. It's different if the person's standing there saying, guys, I'm done here now. I'm too busy for all you idiots. Let me know when you've continued your journey and you finally make it. I'll be over here in the smart person's room. You know, that's putting someone else down. That's going out of your way to downtrodden the people that are probably have supported you in your journey to be the smartest person in the room.
And I kind of have a different, I mean, I understand that completely, that saying, and I believe it too, you know, and I sort of think, I'm putting it in the context of, say, our iconic Jiu Jitsu Academy. To me, the what is it? The smartest person in the room, or the best person in the room, or the top dog in the room, right? To me, that would be Grant. He's our head coach. He's been around Jiu Jitsu the longest. He's got probably the most knowledge in all aspects of Jiu Jitsu. Yes, he also seeks out knowledge in other rooms. He does that, but he's also leading. And he's leading a room full of people to come up with him and under him. And at one point in time, his hope is always that they're going to be better than him. So I think, yeah, if you're the smartest person in the room, make sure you go to other rooms to keep learning, but also don't be afraid to stay in a room and lead.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. And please, sorry.
No, I'm not saying that you were saying anything negative or not that, but
there's always got to be a teacher.
Yeah.
There's always got to be a teacher. Yeah. I'm talking about from a student perspective. Yeah. If you're the big dog on the mat that you constantly it's the difference between, for me personally, it's the difference between owning who you are and what you've achieved, full stop, versus owning who you are and what you've achieved and then driving other people down to bump you up even further.
Yes.
That to me is bad ego.
Yeah.
Owning who you are in the space, like Grant stands there, very happy to let you know his history, his journey, to give his knowledge, to help people, to teach people. That to me is not a show. That's not a big dog. That's not a person up there beating his chest saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. That's a person standing saying, look at what I've achieved. It validates that I actually know what I'm talking about. And now I would like to impart that to all of you.
Yeah, it's a gift.
That's good ego. That's healthy ego to me.
And that's what I'm saying. That's
and there should always be a teacher in the room.
Because we also know, and we've heard many stories, and we know personally that there are coaches out there who I don't know, won't admit that they don't know something, perhaps, or they go to a competition and the only things that ever make it to the socials are when they win the gold, for example, and let's not talk about the losing or the learning or any of those. Do you know what I mean? That to me is probably a slightly negative connotation of what ego is. Anyway, what got me onto this topic, and it was a very interesting thing, was last night on the mats, and you weren't there, Grant taught a move that he is just getting familiar with.
Okay.
And he said to everyone, he's like, look, I'm going to show you this move because it fits here right in this pocket of everything else that I'm teaching you tonight. But I'm going to give full transparency. I don't know this inside and out as much as I hope to. He goes, I'm going to start learning it. I'm going to start incorporating in my game. I want to start unraveling it. He goes, maybe I'm like a blue belt knowledge of this move, right? But if I don't show you, then if I do show you, then maybe you can start incorporating and taking it on board too. And then next time that I come around teaching it, hopefully I've got a lot more answers for you and we can deep dive into it even more. So take it for what it is. Tonight is tonight, and I'm just going to show you this thing and we're going to have a bit of a practice of it. And to me, I was like, it was one of the moments that I'm just like, man, I'm proud of you. Like as his wife and his partner and co-head coach, I'm looking at this man going, it would be so easy for you to have not said any of that and just gone, I'm just going to show you this move. And I know this move, and now you're going to learn this move. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he came forward and he was like, maybe I'm a blue belt level at this move, so let's work on this together and let's all get better together. To me, that's healthy ego. That's being able to say, here, let's have a look at this thing. I don't know all the answers. Let's discover it. That's a good indication of ego. Like if your coach is always kind of being like the all-knowing, unless you like Pedro, Sauer or Hicks and Gracie, which they do, and their knowledge is amazing.
But even Chris Burns, we don't know. Hey, Chris.
Chris Bones Burns.
Yeah, Chris Bones Burns. That's a Chris BB. Even he sat here and said, Hickson will say, if he doesn't know, he'll own it.
Yeah.
And he'll go, let's figure it out. Let's find out.
Yeah.
And people, he said, I was listening to him on something else the other day, and he was saying he will still evolve.
Yes.
Like if you've got a better way of doing it, bring it to the table because they're not above learning.
Oh, Pedro Sauer at the moment had a session recently with, I believe, Jorge and Gracie, Hicks and Gracie, and his whole post that he's putting up is like, I'm always learning.
Yeah.
Always learning. He's a coral belt, and I know I've learnt from this man several times. His knowledge is beyond. But even he's like, I'm always learning.
And you have to be, because if you look at the human race on where we are today, how long we live till, what our flexibility, our agile, everything about us, our physical attributes and all the rest of it, where we are today as 40s, 50s, 60-year-olds versus 20, 30 years ago, everything's evolving. Oh. Our ability to move has changed in 20 years. Yes. Our ability to move across countries, across people, across everything. So if you've kind of got something that you specialised in 10, 20 years ago and you've stuck there, there's a high probability that's not going to work today anyway, because humans have changed, right? Our intuition, our movement, everything's changed. So smart people get that and they evolve with it and they stay open to learning.
Yes.
It's the fucktards of the world that will sit tight and say, my way is the only way and that's all there is to it and I'm never changing it. Well, cool. Stay back 20 years ago. Be there. Be happy. Do you, boo. But don't come out swinging telling everybody else they're wrong.
I like that you got two of them in this episode because you didn't get one of them in last
I know, I was having withdrawal symptoms.
Okay, you're done now. Quota's filled.
And you know what? Nobody noticed.
Oh, I know. Well,
no, you didn't. Nobody noticed until after I said it.
I actually thought it halfway through. I was like, it hasn't come out yet. It will come out soon. And then I got off it.
I sent out a big message to you and Matt and that afterwards going, do you know, I purposely made an effort not to say it and nobody noticed, so I'm never making that effort again.
Maybe everyone was like, oh, she's forgotten. Let's not bring it up.
You're not that lucky. I don't forget that.
But to me, that's healthy ego, 100% healthy ego, because you're looking at these greats of jiu-jitsu who could sit on their laurels and just be going, I've done my time. I've done my learning. There's nothing else I can learn, and still probably be at the top of their everyone's knowledge.
That's right.
And would be able to own that and have no one argue with them. But they don't. And it's those guys that are setting the example of what a healthy ego does look like.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, you know, again, it comes back to this isn't just about jiu-jitsu. Because if mums and dads out there listening don't know who these people are, go and look them up because they are at the top tier of this sport, art, whatever you want to call it. And to your point, they still want to learn. That's empowering to kids. To know that the people at the elitist level are still standing there going, teach me. That, I think, is so more powerful than somebody standing on a podium saying, follow me because I win all the goals. You know, so I want my kids to understand that I want them to celebrate everything they achieve. I want them to stand proud and own it. And that requires ego to do it. It requires courage. It requires acceptance. It requires a level of self-worth that I don't believe humans have in abundance anymore. And I want my kids to learn from those people, to know that no matter how good you are, how far you get, there are two things that remain fundamentally important. You must give back and you must continue to learn. And if my kids can sail through life doing that, then my job here is done. You know, I don't want my kids to ever feel like they have to be ashamed of what they've earned. And I think in society, we blur the lines between good ego and bad ego too easily. Oh, look at her. She's bragging about what she's achieved. Well, why the fuck shouldn't she?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't she brag what she's achieved?
Absolutely. It's just like when we had 8 females at Masters breaking the Australian record for that.
Yeah.
And we had to put something together and went, look what we did.
That's exactly right. And stand proud and own it. And I am not a black belt. I am not competing at nationals, but I will scream from every mountaintop I can find to say, I know 2 of you in that group, and I'm so proud equally of both of you. And I'm proud of all of them. Like, I would love to have conversations with all of them because they've achieved something that hasn't yet been done and hopefully will lay the path for other females to come through. I want you to stand on the rooftop and go, I did that. You know, and I want you to have that moment of glory for whatever. But have that moment because you earned it and it was a huge thing. And I don't want anybody to ever be able to take that away. So let's not confuse what you standing on a mountain, beating your chest going, I actually achieved that. That's a good thing. That's a healthy ego.
Yes.
You're not putting anybody down in that process.
Nope.
You're not telling anybody else that they can't achieve what you have. You're blazing the trail to say, come with me. That's good ego.
Yep.
I want more of that in this world.
Yep. And it's honest.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, the difference between honest, if you'd like, lack of a better word, bragging, honest bragging and dishonest bragging. You know, and we know a story, and I'm not going to say any names, but we know this story where we know of this person who was I'm going to put it out there because it like these things happen. They really do.
And I'm laughing because
you know what
I know exactly what you're going to say. And, you know, obviously we've had a personal journey there as well. So, yeah, go for it. Put it out there. I'm all for that.
So someone that we know of was at a competition and didn't have any matches. Because,
but got gold.
Got gold. Well, but the thing is, like, you know, you've heard of people putting their names out there. No one turns up on the day. They get a walkover, hand raised. Yep, I got my gold, but it was because my opponent didn't turn up. There was no opponent. There was no match. It was walking up to the station, picked up a gold medal at the end of the day, got a photo, put it on social media. So proud of what I achieved today with my gold medal. There was no match.
No.
There was no walkover.
No.
There was nothing. There was no stepping on the mat.
No.
It was purely, and then all the comments flooding through. Congratulations, my man. You did so good.
Yep.
This, that, everything else. And I'm not sure if they did, but I did see one comment from someone who knew the truth go, man, I was watching out for all of those black belt matches today and I didn't see yours.
Yeah.
What a shame. I missed it.
Subtle. Very subtle. But you know what that is? Like at that point, and yes, that's ego, and yes, that's a very perfect example of bad ego. But there is such in that moment, I think there is such a huge insecurity in the person. Yeah. And I think a lot of the time, if you dig a bit deeper into the person that's out there delivering those kind of messages, there is something deep-seated in their psychological profile that says, this is what I need to feed me. I need
insecure.
The perception of being this world title, this national, whatever the case may be, you know, even local level, blah, blah, blah. And that makes me sad for those people. I don't work well in the world of sympathy. I do empathy better. And so I don't have sympathy for them. I do feel sorry for them though. And to me that those two are very different. It's not pity because I think that's detrimental. I think that's derogative, but I do feel sad for them that they will never understand the difference between good and bad ego. And they'll never get to experience good because they don't know themselves well enough. They haven't accepted who they are in the place of earth. But I also think that they don't have the courage to be themselves authentically.
It shows a complete lack of integrity to me, behavior like that. I'll give you another example of someone that I encountered with a big ego. So it was a white belt at my academy. I tapped them out.
Yep.
They were very disgusted in that moment that I managed to tap them out.
This was a he.
This was a he.
Yeah.
Went away. 3 days later, walked back into the academy. First thing they say to me is, I cannot believe you got me. And I just went, are you serious? And I think I was a brown belt at the time. He goes, oh, look, I know that you're a brown belt and you know so much more than me, but I still can't get over it. And I'm like, well, then that's your problem.
Yeah, you're in the wrong door, buddy.
That's
See
your
ya.
problem. And I think truly ego resulted in that person's lack of growth and understanding. So, you know, just another example. And as I said, I think it's really easy to come up with examples of what a bad ego looks like. Examples of what a good ego looks like. I think, you know, we've had him a couple of times on the podcast now, Jaden. I think he's an example of a really healthy ego.
Yeah.
He wants to win. He's very competitive.
Yep.
He wants to win.
Yep.
He's like 6'7", 120 kilos, really muscly, like he's fit, athletic, you know, all of that. He's got everything going for him. He learns technique. He doesn't rely on the strength and the size and the athleticism. He learns technique so that when he's up against someone as big or as, you know, strong or as athletic as he is, he's got an advantage there. A lot of big guys will rest on their laurels of size and strength.
Yeah.
They won't go into the intricacies of the technique. He does. And then when he does lose, yes, he's so disappointed and he wants to come back and make amends and get, you know, like he said, oh, I had to come back and get that revenge that next day with a big grin on his face, of course.
But I don't think that's bad ego either.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying
even if he didn't have a grin on his face,
ego because
I'm happy for him to want to chase that.
The biggest thing is the matches that he loses, he learns the most from. And I think that's the key. When you lose, you can have one of two reactions from it. What can I do better? How can I improve? What mistake did I make? And how can I fix it? Or walking in the academy 3 days later from a gym tap going, I can't believe you got me. I'm bigger and stronger than you. Why did you get me? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's, to me, is such the polar opposites of what ego can be.
Yeah. You hear a lot of people when they lose a match, they'll tell you why they lost it. The focus is very, I did this wrong or I did that wrong or whatever the case may be. I liked when we were talking with Jaden the other day, and I can say this now because the episode will already be released, but when he made comment about losing that fight, his whole description was around how good the other guy was. Like he just couldn't get out the connection, the pressure, whatever the case may be. There was no, I got this wrong. With that, almost intent of if I had have done this better, he wouldn't have been able to do what he could do.
Yep.
That's not how Jaden delivered it.
No.
Jaden just delivered it with, he had it. Like he had the control, he had the pressure, I just couldn't get out.
Yep.
And then he lights up and he's like, I'm on a mission, right? I'm coming back the next day and I'm having another crack, and it works. I don't mind that driving factor. I don't mind that driving force.
Healthy and it's perfect.
Yeah. I had one person through, I competed for many years in the other martial arts that I did, and there was this one person that we literally came up through the ranks and competitions, and it was just constant. She'd get it, I'd get it. She'd get it, I'd get it. And it was just this constant flow of, damn, she did this and she did this and she did this, and she was good on that. And so I'd go away and I'm like, right, now I know, like that's the part that she's going to move at. And, she would do the same for me. So every time we came back to that next match, we'd upped our levels on what we thought they were going to do and that constant thing. But every time she got it over me, it was like, that was awesome. Yeah. That was so good. Like well done you.
What a perfect example too of a high tide raises all ships.
Oh, absolutely.
When you both went into it with that positive ego and that going, okay, I'm going to actually learn from you and what you do so that next time I can come back better.
Yeah.
You elevated, she elevated. You elevated, she elevated. And so you both got better through the process.
Every step of the way.
Instead of one person coming up with excuses and blame.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to go back
had
there.
one of you done that, then one or two things would have happened. Well, probably the thing that would have happened the most is one of you would have just gone, I'm not going to go to that next competition.
And
and neither of you would have improved.
Yeah, and it would have become toxic.
Yes.
If you go down that path, it becomes really toxic.
It does.
And it's really obvious. People, look, as humans, and we talk a lot offline, and we talk a lot. No.
We do not. This is our only conversation for the week.
Okay, yeah. Shh. We won't show anybody our phones ever.
No. In fact, if I die, Kaz, your first mission is to run to my house and destroy my phone.
Me too. Okay. But in our conversations, we talk a lot about people that are bitching about other people, and not sorry, I'll take that back. We don't talk a lot about it. But
I was going to say I don't remember any conversations like that, but go on.
But when somebody is coming out and being that nasty thing, the conversation is about shutting it down.
Yes,
because it's not required. And when those people exist, you can't hide who you are in that realms, right? So it sounds confusing what I'm saying. In my world, I spend a lot of time masking, and I'm learning about that now, right? There's an authentic level of me, and then there's a whole lot of masking of me. But I'm masking to be accepted. I'm masking because I have an outward thought process that says, in my conscious thought and in my subconscious thought, that says I want to fit in, I want to be a part of. Nothing about that process says I want to put somebody down, I want to be better, I need them to feed my ego to help me survive.
Yep.
That's different from somebody just being almost narcissistic in a common factor.
Yep.
And those people can't hide. When you have a negative ego, it shows. It's like something with a highlighter scribbled all over it, right? It's really obvious to everybody, even me. And so you do get talked about. You do get the people, when you walk in a room, there is a heaviness that comes with you. There is a detrimental experience that comes with you. And if you're not realizing that, then you're obnoxiously egocentric. And those people make me sad because they'll never get it. And I think that's a life wasted at that point. I do feel sad for those people because I think they've missed out on major opportunities to be better.
Yeah. And that's probably, you know, I mean, not everyone is 100% this or 100% that. Even, you know, I heard it said the other day, even narcissists have redeeming factors from time to time. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, they can do something that's selfless every now and then pat themselves on the back later on.
Yeah. So my question is, when does it become selfless?
Probably in the moment. Who knows? I mean, if I say it out loud, I'm going to undo exactly what I say that I'm not doing. But it's an example. Years and years and years ago, I had a lady in front of me at the supermarket and her card didn't work. And I walked up and I tapped it and I went, it's okay. And she's like, oh my goodness, give me your number. Thank you so much. Blah, blah. Don't worry about it. You don't owe me any money. Just have a great day.
Yep.
I didn't post about it on social media. I didn't film the experience. I didn't, I didn't tell anyone about it until now. Sorry. I don't intend to say it for any feedback. This was years ago. But today, how many TikToks do you see where some guy just walks up and taps all the card and then it all gets pulled on for likes and shares? Or someone does that and then posts all about it that day so they get the big clap and round of applause. You know, if you're going to do a good deed, do it. The world doesn't need to know about it. It's between you and that person, or it's between you and whatever higher power that you have, or it's between you and you. Yep. It could be picking up a bit of rubbish. No one's going to see it unless you post about it, take a photo and get it for likes and shares. So it's just another factor that, to consider.
We're going through a big thing at the moment in the veteran space, trying to get people rallied up to sign. Like, take 2 minutes and sign this form to get some change and things happening in the veteran space. And I am out there socially at the moment pushing real hard, almost to a point of, seriously, don't come at us whinging that this space isn't better if you're not prepared to get off your ass and do something. Yeah. Like, I'm almost to the point of aggressive at the veteran community to say, get off your ass and make a stand. Yeah. I love a space for social media. I think there is an opportunity to rally the troops. And
it can be used so positively.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I'm with you. I don't like, this is a colour shirt I'm wearing today, let's put it up. Or, I picked a tissue, I picked a piece of paper up and I put it in the bin. Aren't I amazing? Or I opened the door for someone behind me, look at me go. There's a time and a place, right? And there's a reason and a cause. Everybody wants to be liked. We just do. As humans, we want to be liked. People will go through life.
Person.
Yeah.
Hopefully our spouse. And maybe our children.
Yeah, there's a problem. Oh, no, my children never like me. That's fine. I'll live with that.
Oh, they love you.
Yeah, but they don't like me. There's a difference.
Stop it.
Everybody has that core DNA. And those that go out going, I don't care if people like me or not, bullshit.
It's probably, I think people that say that are probably talking about the greater
Some people are
out there.
I think a lot of people try and say that to play down their inner thoughts.
Maybe.
And I wish they wouldn't. I wish people would get way more honest with their inner thoughts. That's probably, out of this entire episode, I think that's what it boils down to. How honest are you with yourself first and foremost? I guess
too, it's probably one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode today, is just to have, and if it's anything, it's my hope, is that I want everyone out there to think about themselves and go, am I displaying healthy ego or negative ego? You don't have to make excuses for not winning or being tapped out. You don't have to. You can just be humble in it.
Yeah.
Win with grace, lose with humility. there's, we've come back from nationals and thank God we didn't see too much of it. There was the odd one here and there. There was a beautiful white belt match where the person won and they had a big team and their team was yelling and screaming for them, and they're beating their chest and throwing love hearts out to their team and beating their chest again and putting their arm up, and I was like, it's a white belt match. Bless their heart. Bless their cotton socks. Do you know what I mean? And there comes a point where I think too, like the more you know, the less ego you have to have.
Yeah.
And I was having this, negative ego. And I guess that's how I want to phrase it. I was having this discussion with someone yesterday and they were talking about people that get progressed to black belt really quickly. And I said, I think there's so much opportunity to not fully get to know yourself through the journey when you hyperspeed your journey through this. Like we hear Chris Howder talk about the stages of belt development and what you go through psychologically as you get your belts. White belt is the learning belt. Blue belt is where you start to discover putting connections together and things like that. He thinks purple belt, he says, is the ego belt or the no, I'm pretty sure that's what he says, like where you become cocky. Oh, the cocky belt. Purple belt's the cocky belt, where you think you know it all. Like, and if you have a good day on the mats, you can sometimes tap the black belts. You're up there with this level with what you know in your lane, right? And so you might see some purple belts starting to skip out on class and just come for the rolls. It's like, oh, you know everything, do you, sir? Yeah. Okay. Don't let us tell you more information. Pedro Sauer's out there learning again, and he's a coral belt, but that's okay.
You enjoy the ride.
You enjoy your purple belt of knowing it all. Brown belt is where you really start to break things down and look at, that's that internalized belt where you go, okay, what areas do I really need to start to focus on and improve on? Where's my weakness? And then, at black belt, you really realize that your journey's just starting.
It's funny, I had that roll on Wednesday night where I kind of stretched my shoulder the wrong way and tickled my neck in a way that shouldn't have been tickled. But I made a comment to you about it, and then I talked to Matt more in depth about it later that night. And I said, I'm at the point in this jiu-jitsu journey where everybody keeps telling me at purple belt is where you kind of start to have a clue, and I'm missing all those memos. Like I'm just not getting the memos of where I should have a clue. But, my comment to you was I feel like when I roll with brown belts and I roll with black belts, I'm very well aware of the fact that you guys are coming down to help me at my level more so than just killing me off in the first 30 seconds. And so I feel like I have the startings of a clue when I'm rolling with you guys. And then I will go and roll with a white belt and just think, what the fuck am I doing here? Like I have no clue. They're just all over the place. And at one point you said you're probably ramping up with their energy too. And I am. And you're right. Like it's somewhere I need to go. Now, to me, sitting there feeling in that moment, that was very egocentric. It's like, why am I okay over here and so friggin' useless over here? Like, what's going on? What am I missing? And sitting down with Matt, he just goes, babe, white belts don't move right. Like they just don't move the way you're expecting them to move. And so therefore you have to adjust everything you know to be truth and reformat it somehow, or you have to get them to reformat. And you've got to be able to do that on the fly because every white belt's going to be coming to it differently and having their different moves and all the rest of it. At that moment, I kind of go, I don't feel better for not being able to understand it, but I feel like there's some form of hope for me to be able to get there to understand that.
I said to you, you are probably playing the game of jiu-jitsu with a white belt who doesn't know the game of jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah.
And you were like, what do you mean? And I said, well, and I said the same thing. You've got to get your feet in their hips and tire them out, or let them spin circles around you and let themselves tire themselves out. Yeah. And then you can start to get something away. But they're young, they're energetic, no one will come harder for you than a 4-stripe white belt in the gym. Yeah. Let me tell you that for free, people out there in the jiu-jitsu world. 4-stripe white belts are trying to prove a point. Yeah. They're like, I'm almost there. Look how good I am. And I'm going to remind you every time we roll how good I am and how deserving I am of that next level. So that's where they learn to fight jiu-jitsu. Yeah. You know, look, there's so much joy in it.
Yeah. But I also think at that moment, you know, that wasn't, I don't believe for me that was healthy ego. I do believe that at that point it was kind of like, oh, fuck, why can't I beat the shit out of a white belt? Like, you know, where am I in this? What the hell's going on, Kaz? You're such an idiot, blah, blah, blah. That was my ego at that moment. I don't think that makes me a bad person. I just think we all have the capability of having a moment where we're expressing bad ego. I was fortunate in the fact that I verbalized it. I owned it. And I'm like, okay, why am I sitting here feeling like this? Smarter people than me give me some different perspective here. That's what I'm talking about when I say own your worth. I had to acknowledge that I was sitting in a moment feeling sorry for myself because I couldn't achieve something I thought in my own egocentric moment I should be able to achieve.
Kaz, if you didn't have ego, you'd lay there like a floppy fish and not move.
What makes you think I don't do that anyway?
You don't do that. I can tell you for a fact you don't do that. That's why I was so happy about getting on top the other day. You'd lay there and not do anything. And you'd be like, oh, you got me again. Oh, you got me again. That would be like zero ego, right? Yeah. Like, I don't care. Get me, whatever. Healthy ego is like, no, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try and like get you, and we're engaging in this thing. And if you need to stop me or tap or this or that, you know what really grates my nerve?
Tell me.
Oh, when I'm rolling with someone and I've got my choke sunk in. Yeah. And they, just before they tap, they go, I don't know how to defend this. Can you show me?
Oh, yeah, I can. Hang on.
Let me finish this first and then I'll show you.
I like that.
Or when you hear, and I haven't had this happen to me for a long time. I think I probably had this happen early on. But where you just about get someone in a submission and then they start coaching you through how to finish it. So just get your arm there, just tighten this bit up. And you're like, I'm already here. What are you talking about? A couple of times has happened to me, and this is at black belt level where I've been rolling with other black belts, where they start to coach me through something I'm not even going for. It's like I wasn't even going there.
I just go zip it. Just zip it. Thank you, but zip it. We're done. We're done here. Goodbye.
But, is it ego? Is it information sharing? Is it positive? Is
no,
it
that's
negative?
At that point I reckon that's
Human beings are very complex creatures, aren't we? And we all have bits of this, and it's like a boiling pot of everything. We have healthy and negative and good and bad, and I want to help you here, but I'm not going to help you there. And this is for me today, sucker. And okay, I'm in a happy mood, so I'm going to change everything about me and everything in between.
And we have the ability to be all of it and none of it all at the same time. It's choice.
Yep.
And it's, again, I'll stand by it. It comes back to that ability. How honest are you being with yourself in your inner monologue?
Yeah.
That's all this comes down to. And if you feel you're being that honest with yourself, and I would argue that most aren't, but if you feel you are being that honest with your inner monologue, how courageous are you to let your inner monologue become your outer monologue? And again, I think that's where society as a whole falls down quite significantly. We're just not prepared to sit there in our own space and own it outward. It was the only way I was going to be able to get past what I was feeling the other night. I had to go to my two safest people and go, all right, I'm having a real egocentric moment here and I need help to get past it because it is messing with my head. why is this happening to me? Now, you and my husband could have laughed at me hysterically and gone, get over yourself, it's fine, don't worry about it, and moved on. And I think that's what people fear, is that kind of response. That's where finding your people in this space and knowing who you can go to and have those conversations is super important. Because if I didn't have that conversation, I'm the sort of person that would go down a rabbit hole with it and beat myself up beyond. So to be able to go to you and Matt and go, all right, I know this doesn't sound logical to, I know what this sounds like, but this is where I'm at anyway. Please help me. For both of you to just rally around me and go, no, you good? We got you. Here's what's going on. That allowed me to shut it down. That allowed me to stop the noise and to move on and to be okay. Now, can I go on the mats and still put my feet up and block a white belt? No, not yet, but I'll get there.
You can focus on it.
Yeah, that's it.
The couple of times that I've been injured, it's been because of my ego.
Yep.
Like I was rolling years and years and years ago. I think I was a blue belt, and I was rolling with a white belt, and he caught my foot, and I'm like, there's no way you're going to stop me from doing what I want to do. And I pushed through it and like popped my knee. That was my fault. That's not his fault. He was just holding on. I've been the stubborn one and gone through where I shouldn't have gone because I was like, you're not going to beat me.
Yeah, I got stacked a little while ago for the same reason. And, me and my neck shouldn't be getting stacked. But went there, didn't want to give up.
And this is like, if you can learn from these things, that's when it's okay.
Yeah.
If you don't learn from it, then you need to check yourself.
Well, there's the other side of that too. Like I got stacked. I let myself be stacked. There is that point where you've got to own it as well. It's, yes, I've learned from it, but I also have to sit down now and go, I let that happen. Irrelevant of what the person does or does not know, irrelevant of whether or not they should or should not have, is none of that exists.
It's all right. We've got this really special thing on the mats where we can go tap.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let me go, let me get down, let me get out,
Sorry, I can't have that happen. Sorry, can we just reset from here? Or you can get back on top if you want to, but I can't have my neck stacked. And that person probably would have been going, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, the other night I was on the mats and when I got my shoulder twisted and my neck sort of went out the wrong way, and because I'm such a spurgy dumbass, I don't go tap, I go, ow, 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 oh shit, my neck. And I said to him, because he stopped immediately, shit, Kaz, I'm so sorry. I went, no, it's good. I said, I just forget to say the word. So if I'm yelling at you, it's
what
because...
was that word again?
Pat, do something, get off me, I don't know. And he's laughing. I'm like, look, I will protect my neck, I promise. Yeah. It just I just moved into a position. It was too quick, too fast. And I said the word, but it's on me to protect me too, and I'm so fortunate at Iconic. Every single person I go to roll with, they start the rolls without me saying a word. 99.9% of the people there will start the rolls with, what can I do? What can't I do? Where are we at? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
oh, that's beautiful.
It is. It's amazing. And I'm so fortunate and grateful because I wouldn't be back.
My heart. Good boys and girls.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I wouldn't
Mummy's happy.
I'm back early.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to come back early if I didn't have the people around me that are willing to protect me to continue my growth.
Yeah.
So I'm fortunate in that regard. I just want to go back one step though. You made a comment about, when you win, be humble, and when you don't, learn from it and keep the humility focused. There is a company that when we were in America, we bought these bands, and I still have heaps of them. And they take mud from the, Matt, help me out here. They take mud from the lock-eye. Do you remember? Matt's here, right?
I don't think we have him online though.
Producer Matt. Back to me. You remember those bracelets? Matt. One syllable. You remember those bracelets that I got, and it's the mud from is it the Black Sea, the Dark Sea? Where's the mud? Dead Sea, and water from the Everest. Yes. So they go and take mud from the lowest point on earth.
Yep.
And they take water from the highest point on earth.
Wow.
And they put them into this bracelet. So there's a black dot and a white dot, and then they have in between the dots, they have whatever charity they're doing it for, right? But there, and again, another tattoo because it goes with my hope. Their methodology and their ethos to the company is simply this. When you are at the top, when you're at your peak, when you're at the top of your game, stay humble. When you are at the lowest point, stay hopeful. And so I built on that and I said, when you are, everything in between is where you stay true and you stay strong. And so for me, that becomes the ethos of who I want to be as a person. When I'm at the top of my game in whatever it is in life I'm doing, I want to stay humble. I want to know that I'm giving back. When I'm at my lowest point, I'm hoping that there are people around me that will help me through. And everything in between is finding out who I am along the journey, right? So you stay true to yourself and you stay strong in knowing that you can keep going forward.
That's beautiful.
That requires good ego.
I love that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
So that's, that's what I hope for my kids. That's what I hope for everybody that is in my inner circle. That's what I hope for everybody on this podcast journey with us, is that somewhere along the line you understand that you have to be honest within yourself and then have the courage to come out and be honest of who you are always when you're out and about.
Love it. I think that would do us for today. I think that drove that point home. Yay. I said my hope earlier. You just said your hope then.
That's
that was
hope.
Beautiful. Look, as always, if you liked what you heard today, please like, share, subscribe. Stick with us on this journey. We've got some awesome guests coming up.
We really do, hey.
Yeah,
we've got some fun times.
do.
And we've had, how good has the last 6 months been on this journey?
Oh, how good's the last year and a bit been?
Yeah,
on
well,
this
that's
journey?
true. Yeah, that's true too. I'm just, we just got the most amazing people that have come through our door. And, to all the people out there listening, if you want to be a part of the journey, reach out by all means.
Absolutely.
We love hearing people's stories.
Yeah, we do.
I have so much fun with people who come through on the podcast.
I have so much fun with you.
I have fun with you too. But I always have fun with you. It doesn't just have to be here. Righto.
All right. Well, till next week.
See you guys.
Bye.
Have fun. Do. This podcast is a My Broken Soldier production.
And brought to you by Iconic Jiu Jitsu.